Hey you guys, and welcome back. I am so excited that I'm finally filming the last video. I feel like I have been filming videos for this week for the last 5 months, and I think I actually have. I super slacked off on this series, but to finish off this week, I wanted to do a best and worst of Makeup Revolution, Revolution Beauty, all of the different sub-brands within that company. I did this for e.l.f. when I did the e.l.f. Brand Slam week, and I think I'm going to do it for every single one of my Brand Slam weeks because it's just a nice way to summarize everything, give you guys my thoughts on the brand as a whole. I have a pile of best products, worst products, also going to be giving away. It's kind of like a decluttering, and then some products in between that I really haven't made up my mind about yet. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following along with Brand Slam week, and let's just go ahead and get started. I feel like I am always about to do laundry or currently doing laundry when I film videos, which makes sense because I film them on the Fridays that I have off, and that's also the Fridays that I do my laundry. This is going to be a super long video, so I'm gonna try and breeze through this as efficiently as possible. I'm gonna start off with the products that I've categorized as best. Some of these are old classics and some of these are newer favorites. The first product that I want to talk about was the Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour Palette. I'll have to double check to make sure that they still sell this, but hopefully they do because it is absolutely a staple in my collection, and I feel like it was one of the first drugstore contour highlight palettes that came out. I'm wearing the two under eye setting powders on my face right now. Just such soft formulas, so easy to work with, very smooth and blendable. These two on the end are more of that drier baked formula, so I don't really use these two that much, but these like 6 shades right here are so good, and I had to include this in the best category. I really hope that they still sell it. I feel like Makeup Revolution's pretty good at not discontinuing products. Like I feel like when you scroll on their website, all of their products from like the last 10 years are still being sold. And then on that same vein, the Ultra Blush Palette is another one of my favorite products from the brand. I have the shade Sugar and Spice. Such nice blushes, that same super soft formula. Nice variety of shades in here as well, like from nudes to a peach. And you do get 2 highlighting shades as well. This one's more of a glowy blush, but this is such a pretty shade. I absolutely love this glowy blush. These 2 Ultra Contour Blush palettes are definitely some of Makeup Revolution's best. Another product that I included in my best category was their matte blush. This is in the shade Divine. I actually am not sure they still sell this. If you're looking for that super soft and creamy blush formula, I feel like this is the way to go. This is one of my favorite blushes to wear in the winter time. It's that perfect pinky blush shade. It just makes your cheeks look like you've just come in from the snow. It's such a nice shade for the winter, and I had to include it because the formula is probably the softest that I've ever felt from this brand. It's just the most like finely milled blush formula that I've ever touched. A newer product that I want to talk about in the best category is the I Heart Revolution Praline palette. You would have seen this already this week, but just an overall great palette. I love these 2 shades right here. I don't really use these 2 shades that much because they're pretty intense. This shade right here is a really nice pinky highlighter, and let me just swatch I'll just swatch them all for you. The glowy blush is definitely one of my favorites, and then the bronzer is also very soft and easy to work with. It also smells really nice. It smells like sweets or like pastries or something like that. Another new product is the Makeup Revolution Cheek Kit in Make It Count. You guys know I've talked about this already this week. The highlighters look amazing on the cheek. I'm wearing this shade on my cheeks right now. It's that glow that you're seeing there on the tops of my cheekbones. So nice. If you're into those really intense glowy highlighters, definitely check this palette out. A couple more face products to talk about. These 2 palettes are from Revolution Pro. This is their 4K bronzer palette in the shade Cool. I'm wearing this shade as my bronzer today. Again, such a great formula. They've really nailed their powder formula down. And then their 4K blush palette, I have the shade Peach. I am wearing this blush on my cheeks today. One of my favorites for sure. It's very glowy and dewy looking. Definitely check out these palettes from Revolution Pro. Every time I drink coffee during videos, my coffee goes cold within like 5 minutes. One more face product and then the rest of my best category are eyes and lips, well mostly eyes, but this is the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick. I have mine in the shade F6. This is one of the creamiest foundation sticks that I've tried. It's actually really nice, at least it works for me. I like the way that it looks on me. It lasts all day, it's super easy to blend, and I don't feel like it looks cakey if I remember to use less product. Coverage is also really nice. Okay, eyeshadow palettes in my best category. Kind of redundant from yesterday's video because I just filmed my like best eyeshadow palettes. But the first one is their Reloaded palette in Velvet Rose. A really nice formula, super affordable. It's like $8 or $9 Canadian. You get so many nice neutral shades in here. Everything is wearable. Everything blends nicely. The shimmers are nice and vibrant and intense. No complaints about this palette. It is definitely one of their best. Then my two Soph X eyeshadow palettes, the original and the Extra Spice one. The original is like my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette. Just so good, so many nice shades, everything I want in a palette. And then Extra Spice is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I was going for more like an olivey green gold eyeshadow look, and I wanted to do that because I feel like when you look at this palette, you're just overwhelmed by the warm shades. There are a lot of cooler tones in here. Like what I used was mostly up here. It is a very warm palette, obviously. It is lots of warm tone shades, but you do get a lot of variety in it as well. The formula is just as good, quality just as good, and I love it. So both of my Soph X palettes have made it into my best category. Also wanted to share the glitter palettes that I picked up. This is in the shade Midas Touch and this is in the shade Abracadabra. Midas Touch I talked about yesterday. It's just a full glitter palette. I don't wear glitter that much, but when I do want to wear glitter for specific events or occasions, I know that I'm going to be reaching for this. And then Abracadabra, I'm just putting it in the same category because it's the same quality as the Midas Touch. It's just different shades, and I feel like there's a time and a place to wear the shades in this palette. Two more glitters to talk about. These are their Glitter Bomb Loose Glitters. I have the shade Orion's Belt, which is like a rainbowy pink shade, and then Glitteratzi, which is like this pretty like crystal shade. I put them in my best category because I actually do really like them. Again, I don't wear glitters that often, but I'm glad that I have some staple glitters in my collection for when I need them. The Makeup Revolution mascara, also amazing. I really like it. I didn't really like it at the beginning, but as I've tested it out over the last like 5 months or so, I've grown to really like it. It really makes my lashes voluminous without creating clumps. It's a little bit tricky to use on the lower lash because the wand is quite big, but the formula is really great and I've really enjoyed it. And definitely, I think one of like the best products I'm going to talk about today is their Renaissance Flick eyeliner. This is their liquid eyeliner. I'm not wearing it today, but I really, really like this eyeliner. It's super easy to use. It doesn't skip, it doesn't crumble, it lasts all day, it's matte, and it's very black. For lips, this is the last product in my best category, and this is the Revolution Pro Supreme Matte Lip Pigment in the shade Affection. Wearing it on my lips today. I really like this formula. It feels like nothing on your lips. It doesn't transfer. It's really, really nice, and the shade Affection is like my perfect lip color shade. I think it pairs nicely with like every single eye look, or almost every single eye look. Best category for sure. In my like middle category where I'm not quite sure how I feel about these products yet. They're not bad products. They just didn't wow me away and they didn't make it into the best category. Let's talk about the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation and the Conceal and Define Concealer. The foundation is what I'm wearing on my face right now. It's in the shade F8.5. It's good. It's not the best foundation that I've ever worn, and I don't really wear it that often. I'm wearing it today, and I do like the way it looks on my face, but throughout the day, it just doesn't sit that nicely on my skin. I just don't feel like it works for me. And the Conceal and Define Concealer, this is in the shade 6.5. It's good. It's, again, not my favorite. I am obviously going to keep using it because I'm not super fussy about under eye concealer. I use so little of it that I don't find it cakes up or creases or does any of that kind of stuff that you don't want your concealer to do. These two products just didn't wow me away enough to make it into the best category. Another kind of foundation combo thing is the Makeup Revolution Matte Base Pore Blurring Full Coverage Foundation. Again, shade 8.5. This is good. It's just not one of my favorite foundations. I did just do a wear test on it, so you can check out that video. I just don't see myself reaching for this that often in the future, but I couldn't really think of anything super negative to say about it either, so I don't know. It's just a so-so product for me. Same goes for the matte base powder. I'm wearing this on my face right now, actually. It is mattifying, like it does make your skin look super matte. I mean, my skin doesn't look matte right now because I layered on some highlighter and a setting spray, but this powder is matte. Sets my makeup nicely, like my face doesn't feel sticky or anything. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm gonna reach for this that often in the future. And then last foundation base type of product that is in my so-so category is the Revolution Pro Foundation Drops, shade 8.5. This is okay. I feel like it just looks a little bit too much like foundation on my skin. It did have really nice coverage and it did blend really nicely. I'm still kind of testing this out and kind of finalizing my thoughts on it. It's not a bad product. I feel like I just haven't found a way to make the most of it yet. And the last three things in this category, one of them is really old. Well, two of them are really old. This is the Vivid Baked Highlighter in the shade Peach Lights. I think this is really nice. I just don't find myself reaching for this shade anymore. It's a very pinky, cool toned highlighter, and I just don't reach for it that often. I actually think I'm going to declutter it. It's not bad by any means. I just don't find myself reaching for it anymore. So I think I'm gonna pass this on. I'm sure one of my sisters would want this. So that's actually going into my declutter pile. Neutrals palette. Neutrals versus Neutrals. Do you guys even remember this palette? This was one of my favorite palettes back in like 2016, 2017. And it is really good. Like every time I look at it, I'm like, ooh, I really like this palette. But I haven't reached for it in so long. And honestly, when I did reach for this palette, I stayed on the bottom row here. I think I'm actually gonna pass this palette on as well. I'm in that like decluttering phase. I haven't filmed any declutter videos, but I get rid of makeup quite a bit and I pass it on to my sisters. It is a really good formula and it was one of my like all-time favorite palettes back in the day, but there's just so many other palettes that I reach for instead that I'm kind of over the neutrals palette. It's weird to say, but I feel like I'm over the neutrals versus neutrals palette. And the last product in my so-so category is the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Rose Gold palette. Again, this is a really nice formula. It's just that I don't reach for it so much anymore. I'm kind of over this color scheme as well, and it really irks me that there's not a black in this palette because all of the deeper matte shades are kind of the same color family. A nice formula, all the shades are really beautiful and I do like this palette. It's just not something I reach for anymore, and honestly, I think I'm gonna declutter it. I think I wanna pass it on. I really need to declutter my life. All right, the last category are my worst products and the products that I'm going to pass on to friends and family, mostly family. First thing is really old, and the reason I'm decluttering it is because I just don't use it, and actually it broke and it's never been the same since it broke. But this is the Revolution Blush, Bronzer, and Highlight palette in the shade Flush. Do you like everything about this palette except for the fact that the blush shattered, the mirror is kind of coming off, it's kind of weird, it's like popping out. It's also super old, and the fact that I pressed one of the shades back together with alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, I don't know how well this has lasted through the years, but I'm going to declutter that. Another palette that I'm going to pass on to my family, maybe my mom would like this palette. This is the Redemption palette in Iconic 1. This was super popular as a dupe for Naked 1 by Urban Decay. And the palette's actually quite nice. Like the formula is quite nice. I just don't reach for these shades at all. This whole color story is getting, well, it's already old. It's not getting old, it is old. So yeah, I'm gonna pass that one on. Another palette that I really didn't like at all is the Makeup Revolution Ultra Glow palette. This is just, I don't know why I bought it. Honestly, I think I was crazy at the time. I do not reach for any of these shades. Gold one here broke. Actually, it came shattered, so I had to patch it back in. And everything in here is cool toned and interesting, but I don't reach for it. So, and I also don't really like the formula of it. It's kind of like chunky, like even just that one shade is really chunky. It doesn't blend. It's not as soft as their other powder products, so not one of their best, probably definitely one of their worst. And then the other like palettes in my worst category slash haven't even tried are the palettes that I got in like the free gift that I hauled earlier. I am gonna get rid of this one. This is the Mermaids palette from I Revolution. It is cool, like the shades are cool. I just am not really into it. So I'm gonna pass this guy on to somebody who might want that. Not even going to open this. I really just don't like this shade at all. This is the Lip Lava in the shade Shockwave. I'm trying to figure out if I can donate it somewhere. If Vancouver or somewhere around here has like a women's shelter or something that I can donate my makeup to. The Parental Advisory Explicit Content palette I'm gonna get rid of as well. Haven't even swatched this, like haven't even touched any of these shades. I feel like if I was a teenager, I would love this, but it's been 100 years since I was a teenager and I just do not really like this palette at all. So I'm gonna pass that one on. I wish I had like a kid. Like I wish I had a child in my life that would be into this type of makeup, because I would totally give this all to her if she wanted it, or him. The Unicorn Tears silicone sponges from I Revolution, I am going to just get rid of, probably toss. I don't think anybody wants these. I certainly don't. So those are my worst category. Not really like worse, it's just products that I have no interest in, or products that are really old that I no longer want or need. That kind of wraps up this video plus Brand Slam Week. Whew, this feels weird. I've like been filming this for so long. It feels so good to finally be done and over with this series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Makeup Revolution is definitely a brand that I really like for certain things, and I feel like they're always quite on top of the trends. They kind of stick with what's popular and they cater to their audience a lot, which is really nice for a drugstore brand. I just feel like they're very hit or miss with their products. I was really into this brand like in 2017, and over the last like year and a half, I've kind of just gotten over it. And Makeup Revolution is also kind of hard to access where I live. Anyway, that wraps up this video and series. Let me know what brand you would like to see next. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please follow me on my Instagram and Twitter accounts. I'm back on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter for like 400 years and I'm back, so follow me there. Don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see more videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!